All right, so Fired Up Fridays is now Fired Up Freedom. I just want to do a little bit of a recap of season 1. It was amazing. I had so much fun, a lot of amazing guests, a lot of great conversation. It was really, really awesome. If you're someone who wants to have a growth mindset, if you're someone who wants to take action and go towards your goals, then Fired Up Freedom is great for you. It doesn't matter if your goal is financial or personal. And now that we're moving into season 2, we're going to be talking a lot of different things surrounding freedom. Well, hello there, family. You're listening to Fired Up Freedom with Steve Ryan. Fired Up Freedom. All right. Do you ever look for certain services or products and it's just hard to find and you want to know if someone else has used that before? Well, visit my resources page, steveryan.com/resources, steveryan.com/resources. All right, hey there, this is Steve Ryan with Fired Up Freedom, which used to be Fired Up Friday. All right. But today's episode you're going to see is season 1, episode 12. And in this episode, we is another artist spotlight. I think this is artist spotlight number 2 or 3. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's another artist spotlight where we highlight 5 wonderful individuals. And we talk about the power of growth mindset in this episode. Now, I really, 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 really love growth mindset. And the reason why it's so important is sometimes I know when people hear mindset, some people are great with it and some people are like, mumbo jumbo mindset, we get you. But really, if you think about it, the power of your mind is so powerful. That determines your day-to-day decisions. That determines your actions of what you're taking as you're working towards your goals. So how you think and having a certain growth mindset sort of thinking will help you. Now, I know that everyone is different. Some people learn things one way, some learn another. Some people have different personalities than others. But one thing that is common, regardless of any differences, is are you taking action towards your goals? Are you taking action towards your growth? That is what's most important. Doesn't matter how fast you get there, but are you taking steps? Are you getting up? Are you walking? That is the most powerful thing, regardless of your personality, regardless of your challenges, regardless of what you've gone through in the past. That is the most important piece. One of the most important pieces, because that's not the only important piece. So I just want to clarify that. So having a growth mindset, what this is saying is, how are you looking at things? How are you approaching things? Are you approaching things from a place of, I can't do this. This is why, so many excuses. This is my reason. I can't do it. I'm not able to, blah, blah, blah. Or are you approaching things with a I can mindset and approaching things with a I will find a way to make this happen? Now, the second piece to this, before we get into the episode, is are you being honest with who you are? But the reason why it's so important to be honest with who you are is so that as you're taking steps forward, as you're coming up with strategies to go forward, you are aware of who you are and how you operate, what triggers you, what discourages you, what motivates you. These are all important questions. And these things will help you along your path as you're figuring out and fine-tuning and honing your strategy moving forward. And this is all part of having a growth mindset. This isn't saying competitive mindset. This isn't saying comparing yourself and see if you're better than this person or that person, or you're not as good as this person. Everyone have their own journey, their own walks, and their own paths. This is about you specifically and you individually. All right? So enjoy the episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really, really, really appreciate you. And this is Steve Ryan with Fired Up Freedom. All right. Fired Up Friday is now Fired Up Freedom. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome to Fired Up Friday on what's today? Wednesday. I'm not planning on doing an episode every single day. It's just I'm so excited that I couldn't wait until Friday. I don't know how I'm going to do these artist spotlights because now in my head, I want to do artist spotlight. I want to do company spotlights. Um, Maybe some Fridays it'll be all about the spotlights. I know it's a lot of guests coming up, like a lot of guests coming up. I'm gonna have to find some way to fit these spotlights in because I don't want them to wait. But today, I really want to talk to you. Wow, some exciting news. I'm gonna introduce 5 people, but I want to tell you some exciting news. One of the previous guests on the show, somebody from Warner Music Group, saw them on the show, contacted him, and I'm going to tell you about that a little bit later in just a little bit. But that fired me up. Like I literally was not planning on coming on here today, but I'm like, wow. And if you can tell, my voice sounds just a little bit different. I haven't fully woken up. I'm on the West Coast currently, and I was up pretty late. So wow. So without further ado, here are the 5 artists that we're going to talk about today. All right. Pink Honeymoon, Mr. Jared Lindblom, Samuel Beck. Jared is the one who had the Warner Music thing that I'm going to tell you about. Samuel Beck, Ricky Kedge, Maria Watkins. I'm sorry, Marie Watkins, and Mike Hardwood. Those are going to be the 5 artists that we talk about today. All right. So, very, very interesting thing. I was, as I'm getting up, I'll take a few minutes out, notifications on the phone, and I'm in Jared's Facebook group, and he gave me permission. I did ask him if I could share this, but I'm just going to share it. I know if you're listening, you can't see it, but I'm going to read it as well. But for the people who are watching the podcast live, you can actually see it. I'm going to put it on the screen here. But this is what he said. This is so, like, that really fired me up. This is what he said. All right. So I don't know if you can see this. I will try to blow it up. That's as big as it's going to get, actually. So basically, here's what it said. God, it's hard for me to see. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay, got it. I blew it up. So this is what Jared said. Something really cool happened that I haven't shared with anyone yet. That was yesterday. I just saw the post this morning. Wanted to share it with you here first. A director at Warner Music Group saw my cover of Sitting on the Dock of the Bay from my podcast episode with fellow honeymooner Steve Ryan and encouraged me to submit for an Otis Redding cover contest that they're hosting. Check out the correspondence below. How cool and awesome. Like, how cool and awesome. I'm going to get into some of this on my words of wisdom a little bit later, but never discount the power of what you're doing and how you're doing it. Jared came, got on the show. He did an impromptu of the Otis Redding song on the show. And I know it can seem like, oh, yeah, he's just on the show, no big deal. But you never know who's watching or listening. You never, ever know. Like, wow. Warner Music Group, someone from Warner Music Group actually saw his episode on the show. That is amazing. That is a very, very great testimonial. I'm so excited about it. But I'll get to that later. I'll come back to that. I want to tell you some more about Jared and what's coming up with Pink Honeymoon. All right. Jared, on 2 days from now, on Friday, he has a live listening party. That release, I don't even have his name typed out right. Pink Honey Moan. There we go. That release that we talked about during his episode is coming out this Friday, and he has a live listening party. It's going to be October 22nd at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know he's on the East Coast out in New York area. And for those of you listening, I'll say the Zoom link. All right. But it's HTTPS, like you're putting in a website, ://US02 web, that's WEB, .zoom.us/J as in Jack /81495211390. Now, I'm assuming that that's the meeting ID, but I'm not for sure. So that's why I gave you the link. So I'll just repeat that last part of it. The meeting ID is 814-95211-390. Now, I would go ahead and test that link out today. I tested it out. And when I tested it out, it says, not available yet, available October 22nd at 10 a.m. It showed it in my time zone of when it's coming. So if you don't see something like that, I would suggest to go to pinkhoneymoan.com and maybe see if you can reach out to Jared and get the link. I don't see it on his site. I'm going to go to his site at pinkhoneymoan.com, pinkhoneymoan.com. And if you want to know all about that name, just go back and listen to that other episode. It is I forget when it was, maybe 3 weeks ago or so. I can't remember, but it should be on the list of episodes, and it'll say Pink Honeymoon, thrown out from his dream or something, or thrown out the street from his job and refused to give up on his dream. Sorry, I have a lot going on a regular basis, so give my memory. So, but this is his website, and that's his beautiful wife and daughter. What a lovely family! You just gotta love. You got to check out that song too. Closer to You. Just look at that picture. That is so awesome. Like, don't that just make you feel like family and home? I mean, like, what a beautiful family. Like, the daughter's kissing him on the cheek, and the wife is sitting there playfully. I mean, that just represents family so well. I love seeing beautiful couples. I love seeing families. And when I say beautiful, I'm referring to internally, not saying they're not beautiful people on the outside, but I'm referring to their spirit. Like, they have a beautiful spirit. You can just tell. Um, but definitely the marathon thing, Jared's doing his marathoning and sprint and all that kind of good stuff. So you definitely have to check it out. Like, wow, thank you, Jared. If you listen to or watch this episode, I want to thank you for having the courage to share what happened, because let me tell you, that does matter. You know, I mean, it's awesome to hear that. Like, I mean, I knew like certain people were watching the show just from other feedback, but to actually see it publicly posted, that was such an amazing testimonial. And I'm so happy for you, and we're rooting for you. And we really hope that you win that Otis Redding competition that Warner Music Group is holding. That is so awesome. Wow. I can't say it's awesome enough. Wow. It is really, really amazing. Like, thank you, Jared, for coming on the show. Thank you for I'm going to tell you about Jared. I know he was on the show, but every time I turn around for a while now, I've seen Jared. Like I didn't know him. I actually didn't know him, like directly know him until like actually the day of the show. But before that, like every group, every workshop, it's like we've been in similar circling circles, you know, and um, and it's like it's somebody that I didn't know but I knew. Like every time I turn around, I see his name somewhere. Like if I'm on a workshop, I see his name in the participants. If I'm in a session somewhere, I see him there. Like so, I just kept seeing him for a long time now, and I didn't know this until he did an Instagram post of when he showing him and his group running in New York City. I actually lived in New York City for about a year some time ago. I was in New York City, I believe, around the same time of that picture that he posted with him and his band running. So cool. Like, so it's almost like he's my soul brother, one of my soul brothers, you know? Really cool energy, so supportive. I mean, I'm gonna always have his back. I'm gonna tell you that right now because he's just such an amazing soul and so supportive. So, wow, he's welcome on the show anytime he wants. He definitely have an open invitation, regardless of how booked out it is. I will always make time to squeeze him in. So, so awesome. He should bring his family on the show too. So, Jared, if you're listening, ask your wife if she want to come on the show too to have a family thing and talk about family. That'd be a nice little thing to do. I'm just, don't feel pressured. I start getting these ideas and I just kind of run with them. But whenever I put stuff out there, it does not mean anybody has to take me up on it or anything like that. It's just my mind can't help it. I get so excited about people in general. All right, so that's Jared, and I will be talking more about that Warner thing during the words of wisdom. All right, so the next one that we're going to talk about today is Samuel Beck, and his website that I have. He have a ton of sites, but it's the link tree. So LIN. Well, I think you have to put in HTTPS:// first, and then link tree. So it's linktr.ee/Samuel Beck official. SAMUELBECK official. And this is his site. I love Stop the Rain. I've heard that. Of course, I can't play it on the show without his permission. He doesn't even know I'm doing this. He won't know until he like sees it or listens to it. And then you have him on Spotify. You have his Instagram. All his links are on that site. Now, Samuel has a very kind soul. He really does. And I'm going to tell you what really got me about Samuel. I already knew he was cool ahead of time. I saw an Instagram post that he did, and I think I commented on it, and I can't remember the exact post verbatim. So excuse my memory again, but it was something to the effect that his goal is to be like one of the top country artists, songwriters, and artists. And he was talking about how challenging he had it because he's doing like two or three jobs. I can't remember the exact post. He's another good one I would love to have on the show. So Samuel, if you listening or watching this is your open invitation. Just go to stevebryan.com/schedule and just go on there. And if any of those times don't fit, just hit me up. You know how to reach me. But what was I saying? But I like his story. I like how the fact that he's always either outdoors exploring something. He takes these awesome pictures of like the mountains and then where he's out, and then he have his sister on there and stuff. And just you can just tell he's a really cool, genuine person. Sometimes he has his singing stuff. And just to see him being inspired to where he's like, even though I have all these jobs and even though, I'm doing this, this is my dream, this is my goal, and this is what I'm going to do. Just the way he said it in his post, that was the ultimate affirmation. And I'm actually at a later time, not today, but at a later time, I'm going to be talking about Christine Morel, and we follow each other on Instagram. But I'm going to be talking about her at a whole later time. But when I saw Samuel's post, it reminded me of Christine Morel because if you don't already know her, like her story and what she's going to have a whole episode. She don't know it yet. But she's going to have a whole episode. I mean, just for what she went through to get to where she is, like how she was homeless for 10 years and working on the, oh my, oh, her, okay, I got to save that. That's that. I'm going to do a whole spotlight on her, totally separate. Let me stay focused. I think I might have adult ADD or something because I get real, I get excited and I start going in different directions. Back focus. We're talking about Samuel. All right, but as far as Samuel, he he just has such this good hustling split spirit. And what made me thought about Christine and why she came up in the middle of me talking about Samuel is something that she said, which was it's about hustle. You can be the most talented person in the world, but if you're not hustling and getting your, the business side of things, you're not going to make it. And that Samuel's spirit reminded me of that. Really, all the guests on the show. But Samuel's spirit reminds me of that because he has this energy of this is what's going to happen. I'm going to be a top writer and country artist. And everything he puts out there is like he's sharing his story, he's sharing his journey. And he's non-judgmental. He's so non-judgmental, cool classic guy. Cool classic guy. All right. Again, I'm just waking up not too long ago, so I'm already going to have tongue twisted grammatical things that just comes up with me. And sorry, it is what it is. So I can't not do the show though. It's um, another one I want to talk about is Ricky Ketch. Now, Ricky, I'm going to tell you, some of you may know Ricky and some of you may not. Um, but this is his website. Hopefully, no music come up. I don't think it. But he's an Indian artist. Now, Ricky, Ricky is a Grammy Award winning artist and a Billboard charting artist from India. But I'm going to tell you why I'm spotlighting him. I'll tell you why. Because before I've known Ricky for a while, probably since 2012, 11. I can't remember exactly when. I know it's been a while. I knew him before he was a Grammy, before he won a Grammy. I knew him before all this charting stuff. And I'm going to tell you what I love about him. He is just as nice now as he was before then. Winning a Grammy did not change him at all. And I mean, now he's getting to a thing to where just for people in his network, he's hosting, these workshops recently, and I've attended two of them. Can't talk about them or as far as what was said in it because it's confidential. That's part of the terms. But it's been amazing workshop. Like the last one was like one of the members of the police, and of course, the police group. They're big selling, but one of their members was in there hosting it with Ricky actually yesterday. That's part of why I was up so late. um, and just I mean, yes, he's a business person, Ricky, don't get me wrong, but he's so nice. Like, whenever he communicates with me, he'll always say, "Hope you're doing well. How are you?" I mean, even lately, he just communicated like 2 or 3 days ago. Like, he'll actually ask, "How are you doing?" Like, he don't just say, "Hey, Steve, here's my song, check it out." It's like, "Hey, how are you doing?" That's the ultimate power of networking. I've been telling you people about it. even on the episode I did about networking, he didn't change. Even though now he's, Grammy winning and he's on the ballot again this year. And, not the nominated piece, but this first beginning piece. And Billboard, he still is nice. He still wants to help people. He still is being a networker. And I just, somebody like that, you can't help but appreciate. You just can't help but appreciate. Like, he didn't do this whole, I'm a Grammy winner now, so I'm cutting everybody off unless you're one too and you're beneath me. He doesn't act like that at all. He is totally cool. And I'm honored to call him one of my friends. I'm honored. Like, that is, wow. Um, Ricky, too, if you're listening, you definitely have an open invitation anytime you want on the show as well. I know you're busy hosting a lot of things, so I definitely don't expect that anytime soon. I know you're busy because I'm in those Zoom sessions with you. So I know it takes a lot of work to put it together, and you have these amazing videos and causes. I mean, he's always fighting for causes. Even though he's in India, he fights for worldwide causes, and he's such an amazing person. So if you don't know who Ricky is at this point, you need to know who he is now. And this is his link. This is his website. So it's Ricky at www.rickyKej.com. I just know him as Ricky. I don't know how to say his last name. I just know a lot of people by the first names. And yeah, so that's Ricky. And then the last, no, we got two more. Sorry. The next one, how many? One, two, three. Okay, yes. We're on four now. Um, Again, I'm still just waking up. All right. Maria Watkins. Maria Watkins. She is a gospel singer. First of all, let me take you to her website, and then I'm going to tell you about this amazing video. This is her website. Her website is Marie A. Watkins. Oh, Maria. I don't know how to say her name. Is it Marie or is it Maria? But it's spelled Mariea. So Maria Watkins. But her website is MariaAWatkins.com. She has such a lovely spirit. I don't know her. I just recently met her because I'm a Recording Academy member too as well. And right now we're in what's called FYC season. And that's when, when you have something on the ballot, people vote for it. The voting members, we vote for it. And if you get so many votes, that's when you get nominated. So that's how that process works. That's public information. So it's not like I'm saying something that I'm not supposed to be saying. They do have restrictions on what we can say publicly, like we can't say category numbers and things like that. I have a whole list of what you can and can't do, like we all do. But that's how I met her because she sent me her song for consideration to vote on the ballot, and that's when I checked out her music, and she's such a cool person, and she was very, very pleasant. But this, I want to share. Let me just get to it first so I can mute it because I can't play people's music on here unless they give me permission. I can do my own music, and if somebody performs on the show, I mean that's kind of giving permission. But 1 second here. Oops, no, don't do that. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm pulling up her video, and I will show you. It's such a good video. I really like the video because it was here we go. Here we go. All right. I just had to get to it and mute it. But this is on her YouTube channel. And yes, her YouTube is under her name, Mariea Watkins Music. So I'm sure if you just do a search, you can come across it. But I'm just going to fast forward. But look at these dances, how the people are dancing in the back, and she's going on in the front. I just love this video. I even did a little comment on it, like it's because it's so cool. Because her voice is like it's like very, it's not intrusive. Like even though it's a gospel song, she could easily do jazz too. Like it's a very soothing voice, and just the graphics, like look at it, like it isn't it so. Let me describe it for people who are listening. So what's going on is they all have these wonderful colors on, like I don't know what you call them, but it's kind of like remind you of like because I think she's South African if I'm not mistaken, but it's some nice like tribal colors, and then she has about a dozen people dancing in the back of her, and she's in the front moving like she's on beat, but they're doing all fancy moves behind her and dancing, and all excited and energetic. I mean, it gets you excited, and they're all in sync. But they're not robotic in sync. It's like they're dancing like in choreograph, but it's not like it's like they're how do I describe this? Like they're not robotic where everybody's in unison, like on exact moves. Like they're in unison as far as move the same direction, but they're all doing their own independent things within it. Like it's very like I really love this video. It was so like it's well put together. And then it's like these people have their solos. Look at that. Look, he's spinning around and stuff. They come up, it's like they each have their solo. It's like she's not selfish. You can tell that as a person, she's not selfish because she's giving everyone like the opportunity to come up and do their solos, like while in the middle. I mean, this is just such an awesome, it was so awesome. All right. So that's Maria. And I apologize, Maria, if I am mispronouncing your name. Because I've never seen it spelt like that. Because I have a family member um, that spells hers without the E. Um, yeah. And then the last one is this artist from UK, Mike Hardwood. And he's from the UK. And let me go to his website. His website is www.mike, M-I-K-E, hardwood.co.uk. And that's his website. And he's pretty cool. I had a chance to hear this song, Cry in the Night, and I really thought it was a well done song. I really do. You can also find him on YouTube. It's on his site. You'll see it on his site, and then it'll take you to YouTube. But I really, really, he's a really nice person. Like when he got in touch with me, he's just so nice. He's just a really, really nice, pleasant person, not rude at all. And you just have to check out his stuff. Like it's really, really cool. If I could play it, I would, but you just have to kind of play it for yourself. So that is really awesome. So these is just all five. Thank you all for bearing with me in the middle of the morning, when it was still early morning. So these are the five, and we're gonna go to commercial break, and then I will be back with my words of wisdom. Fired Up Friday will be right back after these messages. Are you ready to be a better you? Visit theabundantlion.com today. All right. So here's my words of wisdom for today. Going back to the very first thing that really made me jump on here, which was that message from Jared about Warner Music Group, seeing him on the podcast. What I want to say is this: if you're someone, and this is for any, I know I'm an artist, so of course my artist community get me, but any entrepreneur, that can be artist, songwriter, hairstylist, fashion designer, author, anybody who has any kind of entrepreneur dream, or even if it's not in an entrepreneur way, and it's like as a hobby, like let's say you have this cause you want to fight for, like in any of this information is for all of you. What I'm about to say: never take in vain what you're doing. Never take in vain what you're doing. You never know who's going to see what or how they're going to see it. And if you never take a chance and take action, then how will you know what works and what doesn't? How will you know? How will you know? Let me tell you, I'm so excited about this podcast because, as many of you know, the podcast just launched in August. It just launched. And this is not the only podcast I'm doing. I have another podcast under the Abundant Lion, which is the motivational speaking brand and all about entrepreneurship and mindset. But so that should tell you how busy I am. Like on top of everything else, not only do I do one podcast, but two. But if I would have had the thoughts in my head, like, oh, don't do the podcast. There's already a million podcast shows out there. And, you have to be a Grammy winning major player to do one, or Howard Stern or somebody like that. If I would have had all those thoughts in my head, I wouldn't have taken a chance and did the show. I wouldn't have taken that chance. So if you have something in your head that you want to do, or that you're actually doing now, don't discount that. That means the world. You have to do whatever it takes to make it work. And when I say whatever it takes, I'm talking about within reason. Don't go do anything crazy, but whatever is within your spirit to do. And here's what I mean by that. Even though, my listenership on this podcast has significantly grown from the time of beginning to now, like I'm still shocked by it. But even though that's going on, I'm going through training now. I actually just signed up to get trained with this wonderful podcaster, and I'll say his name at another time. I have to see if I have permission to say it because as far as what he wants me to say, because when it comes, I mean, I can introduce people like I'm talking about people. That's I can do that. It's just like talk radio. I mean, if it's public information, I can introduce it. But when it comes to someone, how do I put it? Like, it's certain things I want to disclose about him that I would like to run by him first, because some of that isn't public. You see what I'm saying? But if something is public, then anyone can say whatever they want to say about it. I mean, within reason. You can't go slander anybody. But like I can do artist spot, like I can introduce artists and things because their information is public. But I can't play like their music unless they give me permission, or or unless they're on the show and they want to play on the show or something like that. That's different. But just talking about people, that's fine. But anyway, back to what I was saying. But I'm going to go through some training with him, as far as how to make the show even better. I don't have an arrogant attitude of, oh, well, I know everything there is to know about podcasting because all these people are listening to me. No, I want to get better. I want to improve. I want to always constantly improve and see how can I serve you better. And that's what you do. And vocal coaching, I'm still, vocal coaching, songwriting workshops, production workshops. Like I'm constantly always in something. People who know me in the community, they'll tell you. They're always seeing me and stuff, including a lot of people that have these blue check marks.
They will tell you. So they're always seeing me and stuff. So my point that I'm making here is if you want to be successful in what you're doing, you have to always be doing stuff to improve yourself. You have to always be improving yourself. And you also have to do whatever it takes to make yourself successful. Meaning, you know, if you have to get certain equipment, if you have to pay and take workshops, if you have to do things to improve your craft, if you have to research ways to connect to your audience, whatever it takes. I like to have multiple sources. Just saying, I like to, like even though I love my main vocal coach, I love her dearly. I really do. I've had other vocal coaching training too, but for specific things. And it's not to say that one is better than the other, but I like to it's like if you're reading if you're reading a book and learning about something, then you're going to learn from different things in different ways. That book analogy I heard someone say yesterday. Um, and I was like, wow, that is actually pretty cool. Actually, it was in during a meeting with Christine, and Michael Walker was there too. And that's when he was saying in that meeting that he's not offended if someone is, I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the words exactly, but if someone wants to check out different companies and things, in addition to his company, because it's like getting different sources, which I'm going to talk about his company in an episode too. But that's going to be later. I have to try to stay focused because if I don't, this will be like a 2, 3, 4, 5 hour um, episode. It's already spur of the moment as is, which a lot of my stuff ends up being. But what I'm saying, the reason I'm bringing this up is this. You just have to say, you know what, no matter what, I'm going to continue finding ways to make things happen for myself. And I don't believe in bragging and things like that. I do like to share wins and share things, but I never feel that I just have all the answers. And there is a lot of amazing things coming up that I don't want to share yet because I want to wait till they're out. Because I've already told some people about one thing that's coming out and it hasn't come out yet. And I'm like, next time from now on, I'm just going to wait until things are out because then it makes me look like what's going on. Like, you know, did that really happen? You know what I mean? So I'd rather just let stuff come out and then talk about it. But it's a lot of amazing, amazing things come out. So don't be shocked if you start seeing more blue check marks by my name. I am verified on some things, but not on everything. But don't be surprised at some of the things that are about to come out. So you knew me before all the blue check marks. Not that those make a difference because we are who we are. And let me tell you, there are people too. There are people too. Just because somebody is verified, it doesn't make them any less human. It doesn't mean that they're not going through battles themselves, with things. It doesn't take away from that. We're all human and we're all in here together. But you're actually seeing something amazing with this show happen in real time. And wow, it's so much. I might have to just do 2 episodes some Fridays. Like it's so much I want to share with you, and it's wow. I know something that's going to be coming up with trademarking and branding. I do. You know what? Let me save that. I'm going to save that. All right. Back. Let me stay focused. Back to what I was talking about. You have to just continue doing whatever it takes. And seeing Jared Pink Honeymoon, um, Jared talk about and sharing the Warner Music Group, that was such an amazing confirmation and validation that number one, this show is not in vain. Number two, for any of you who come on as guests, you never know who's going to hear your episode. You never know who's going to see it because the numbers are getting up there. I'm shocked. And I will tell you something that is coming out. I don't have an exact date, but it is coming out and most likely within the next 2, 3 weeks. But the Fired Up Friday app is done. It is finished. And is getting ready to there's some back end things being done, that's being worked on and things like that. But it's going to be on Apple and Android. How cool is that? How cool is that? It will be a Fired Up Friday app for the show. And you can download the app and the show will come straight to your phone. And I'm thinking about on there having some exclusive it of course they'll anyone who has the app will have access to all of the episodes that is publicly available. But I'm thinking of having some exclusive episodes just for people on the app because um, I'm actually in the middle of debating on launching. I won't say the name of what it's going to be called, but like an exclusive podcast that will be for just the app, the Google app, the Apple app, and maybe like Apple Podcasts under like the paid Apple Podcasts. And that will be like exclusive information type of stuff. That's what I'm thinking of leaning toward. Haven't made a decision yet. I'm just talking about it unplanned, talking out loud. But yeah, so just take this as a validation and confirmation that whatever you're doing, keep doing it because you don't know who's going to see what you're doing. You don't know who's going to come across what you're doing. You never know. You never know. That's why, like I told you all before, it's important to have your websites. It's important to have ways of communicating with your audience. What if somebody wanted to get in touch with you from one of those companies? I mean, they're not really, as far as I know, they tend to like to contact people directly, like emails and stuff. They're not super big on contacting through DMs and stuff. Just from my experience, I can't say that that's true for everybody, but when I've been contacted by legitimate, whether it's publishing companies or something to do with a label or whatever, it's always been directly to either through the website they contact, or through like my domain email address. It's never really been through socials. Socials might just be, hey, how's it going? But when it comes to official business, it's always been more of like the direct contact in that way, or if they do contact through social, is more of like, do you mind if I email you or whatever? That's the process. I'm just bringing some of these ethics of how things are done, to your attention because it's very, very important. So, because you never know who you're dealing with. Just like I don't get on here, I don't think I've ever said it until today, and I didn't mean to say it that I'm a Recording Academy member. I don't recall saying it in any previous episode. But does that mean I'm going to act any different with you just because, I've been a member for a while? And a lot of you don't even know that. The people that need to know knows it. And so, you know what I mean? And and that's because all I'm saying is don't take your connections in vain. You never know who you know. You never know who's connected to who. Let me tell you, a lot of times people who brag about who they know in a bragging way, a lot of them don't know those people. But people who legitimately know well known people or people who are connected, unless it's like in some sort of mutual business way, they're not going to brag about it. They don't usually brag about it. Just like some well known people that I know, I don't mention their names on purpose because I respect their privacy, for one. Number two, that's why we have friendships, because I respect their privacy. It's irrelevant for you to know that I know them because why does it matter? I'm not gonna go and tell them, hey, such and such sent me their demo. Will you check it out? I'm not gonna do that. Like, because that's not my place. I'm their friend. I'm not, you get what I'm saying? And now if they tell me it's okay, I'll do it. If they tell me it's okay to mention their name on the show, I'll do it. Even though technically, legally, I can talk about anyone who's public. I can talk about it. But if I'm friends with someone and I know them, it's a respect code that I personally have. You see what I'm saying? Like if they're super well known and you know everything that comes out about them is going to be news, I'm very, very careful about that. And I rather ask permission, is this okay? And have a reason tied to it. But other than that, I just rather not because what's going to happen? Are you going to treat me differently? It's because it's not going to make a difference. You see what I'm saying? We all are human beings. And the reason I'm bringing this up now is that you have to really pay attention to how you're treating people, how you're coming across people. No connection is irrelevant. Now, of course, you have to set boundaries. Yes, that's great. But you never know who knows who of who you know and who you're interacting with. So just take this as a lesson to be respectful. And remember, when you're networking, people are humans. Don't just, hey, check out my music. Like, ask how people are doing. Let me tell you, I know a lot of people. And let me tell you how I know these people because I genuinely care about how they're doing. And when I contact people, it's not all the time about, will you do this or will you do that? I will ask, how are you doing? How's things going? Let me know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's it without an agenda. So if you want to build a network of people and you want to get to know people, take some of these tips. Ask people how they're doing. Be a genuine, caring human being. Don't be selfish. All right? Boy, can I talk. At times, and then other times I'm quiet. All right, so I have a long day ahead of me. I have to get going. So thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. And it's time for me to do my vocals, get my voice all warmed up, and I will see you all later. Thank you for joining me.
Running from myself at times, I can't describe the words I try.